So I've printed off this template, and it's a template for a London bus. So you can pop Paddington into a London bus. I mean, how much fun is that? So within the template, I've also written what colour cardstock you need to use and how many you need to cut out. So for example, the front and the back of the card are going to be black or grey. One of them is solid and one of them has this aperture cut out. Now what I've already done is cut that aperture out and then lined that, as you can see there, with a piece of acetate. So that's going to give you the windows to the bus. So that's going to go this way up. Now I'm actually doing it this way up, so the acetate's on the front. You'd think that you'd want the acetate underneath so it's hidden, but we don't. We're going to cover that over. There's tabs on the top of the template as well. So I'm just going to take a, should we do wet glue or should we do, I'm going to do red liner tape, but oh, there it is. I couldn't find it. The bus is good fun, isn't it? Yes, thank you. Everybody's main comments about that. I just thought, do you know what? It really screams Paddington, doesn't it? A red bus. You can just see him. Which was the story where he went out on the bus? The tour. Was it the Grand Tour? Is that what it was called? Something like that. Do you all have a story in mind? When you think of Paddington, do you think of a particular story or a film or a book, or does it bring back a memory? Like I say, for me, the memory is playing at my grandparents' house with their toy Paddington. I've no idea why they had a toy Paddington. It was very old when I was little, and I did actually message my mum the other day because neither of my one's passed away and one's now in a care home. So I did message her and say, you know, whatever happened to the Paddington bear that was at Nana and Grandad's house? And she says, do you know what, I don't know. Unfortunately, it has gone somewhere, probably a charity shop. So somebody out there has got my old Paddington, I say mine. It was all mine and my cousin's, but the old Paddington bear. So we've got the base there of the bus. I'm just going to use my bone folder to secure that a little bit. The acetate is stuck to the front of this black layer. And I'm going to pop inside, I'm going to pop one of the papers. This is beautiful, isn't it? Look, these kind of watercolour painted splodges in the neutral tones. So you can really mix and match this with absolutely any of the colours that you want to. You can bring in any colours. Now, of course, Paddington is blue and red, but he did change throughout the years. When he first came out, he didn't have, it was different, wasn't it? I think he had a black jacket on or something like that. I'll have to go back over my my Paddington knowledge. I'm sure he wasn't blue and red to start with. He may have had a red or a blue element, but he had black in there somewhere as well. Obviously, 1958, I mean, that was many years ago, wasn't it? That was, my dad was 6 years old. I wasn't even considered then. So, if you're just joining us, hello, thank you very much. So lovely to have you here. So let me see, I'm just going to check. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Oh, it's Hillary. Her mum has one exactly the same. Apparently they're made by Jeremy Clarkson's mother, true fact. Really? I didn't know that. Joe Crafty, didn't have Paddington as a child. We'll have to get this collection to make amends. Yes, you will. I'm sure as an adult. Oh, sorry, who was that? I'm sorry. Who was? Oh, Joe. Of course it was. Joe, I'm sure you can do that. You can make up for it now. If you have children, if you don't have children, it really doesn't matter. You know, just be a child yourself. That's fine. Paddington would. What would he do? He'd be right on it, wouldn't he? He'd be enjoying himself, making the most of things, doing whatever he liked, while still being extremely polite, which I love. Now, I've got the front of the bus, which I've cut from red, and I've used a craft knife. In fact, if you don't have a good craft knife, the CraftStash craft knife comes with, I think it's about 5 spare blades, and it's brilliant. That's available on CraftStash. Now this is going to go over the front of my bus, and this is why I put that acetate on the front, so I've then got my windows. But before I do that, I need to pop Paddington in so that he will be driving the bus. He'll be in the window, which is really good fun. Now this is just one of the ephemera. Once you've run out of the ephemera, you've still got all the paper pack to play with as well. You know, you're going to be playing with this collection for ages. Lots of questions previously about the angel policy on this. So just so you know, if you're purchasing this, you can make, because it's a licensed product, you can make it for yourself, products for yourself. You can gift to people as well, and you can sell for charity or for fundraising. Okay, so lots of options there for you to play with this product. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. Mini albums and scrapbooks. I'd imagine Helen Griffin will be thinking about her journals with this as well, because she has children. She was a child herself once, I'm sure. So just popping the bust just over here. I'm lining that up with the black that's underneath. So what we've then got is the wheels, the tyres at the bottom, and the wing mirrors. I have actually trimmed the wing mirrors off the back piece though, just to make them so that they are at the front. Okay, then we've got some more elements to put on. I'm trying to keep up with his hat black. Yeah, there was something black about him when he first came out. Did I cut the bus out with a craft knife, Louisa Fields? No, I didn't. I cut the windows out with a craft knife, but if you have rectangle nesting dies, for example, you could probably find some to fit that. I cut the rest out just with scissors. Okay, so it was only the inside pieces like this that I cut out with a craft knife, and that's this one from CraftStash. Okay, I need to bring this in because for those just joining us, I need you to see the Paddington items just sitting there because they are beautiful. There we go. Paddington, 1958. He's an old bear, isn't he? He is getting on now. Let's finish building this bus up. Actually, one thing I did want to do, I had plans on doing, was inking this. I can still do, I think I can still get away with it because I've got acetate in the windows. I can still go around the edges of the windows. It won't affect the acetate too much. It's because I'm talking. Now I'm going to have to, sorry Paddington, I'm just going to have to be careful not to catch you with the black ink. I'm sure, I thought that was my ink pad. Look, there's my ink pad. This is true crafting, isn't it? There we go. I need a scrap of paper. I think that's, there we go. Let's just do that so I can ink the edge of that there. And did you know Paddington has 2 birthdays? Because when Mr. and Mrs. Brown found him, of course, they didn't know when his birthday was. He didn't know when his birthday was. So they decided to start again. And he has a birthday on Christmas Day, 25th of December, and then 6 months later on the 25th of June. So just like the Queen, he does have 2 birthdays too. Let's pop his hat back in there. There we go. So now I'm also going to ink around these. So I just saw someone say me too, and I thought that was someone saying they also have 2 birthdays. Wow, you're lucky. I don't think that was what you were saying, me too, too. I think it was saying that Paddington's older than you. Yeah, he's older than a lot of us, isn't he? Not everyone. I mean, my dad, I'm trying to think how old my dad is. He'll be 70 this year. He's older than him. Do you remember it wasn't that long ago, obviously it was 6 years ago, that Paddington turned 70 himself. I vaguely remember that now. There we go. So this bit, although it looks a bit odd at the moment, it's building up the nose of the bus. So just red cardstock for this. You can pop in any of the backing papers you want to as well. There we go. How good would it be to have 2 birthdays? What would you do? Has Mary... Hang on a minute. Thought Bear's done a Paddington Bear. Has Mary Thought Bear's done a Paddington Bear? I'm lost with that. I'm going to have to read back, I'm afraid, and check that. A Christmas baby, Deborah, you're a Christmas baby, are you? Let's just pop this. This goes over the top of that piece that you've just done. That's just giving it dimension. That's all that's doing. Now included, I've also added in things like, we've got a grill that's for the bus too. So you've got all of the elements on that template, but this is something you could probably quite easily build yourself as well if you wanted to, just using nesting dies. But it's just an idea for you to have some fun with Paddington. Of course, the bus is so it's such a fun story. There's so many stories. In fact, what I'm going to do, because it's no, it's not half past, it's half an hour, I'm going to set the competition question now. So what is your favourite memory of Paddington? Maybe your only memory. You may just say, I don't have any memories. I'd never heard of Paddington until today, which is unlikely, but if that's the case, then that's the case. By all means, say that. But to be in with a chance of winning one of 2 full collections, which I have, by the way, had to put aside because the collections are selling so quickly, just answer the question in the comments, both on Facebook and on YouTube. What is your favourite memory of Paddington? So for me, it's that bear, playing with that bear when I was around my grandparents. Every single time that bear, I would go and get it. It was sat in the spare room. It slept in there, had a single bed all to itself. And me and my cousins and my brother, we would all take the little hat off, the welly boots off. I think my nana used to despair every time we left. She'd have to go putting them all back on. And I see, this has just conjured up another memory for me. I think the welly boots were quite difficult to put on the bear because, of course, his feet are quite floppy, aren't they? They're not hard like ours to push into the welly boot. So I have this vague recollection of my nana saying how it was a bit of a pain having to keep putting the welly boots on every time we'd been round. She'd have to go and put them back on, and the hat would fit us until we were a certain age. Oh, I love memories like that. So I've also got, so I've added a little bit of trim. All of these pieces are included in that template for you as well. Let's just pop the, there we go. These are lights. Now I have added circles. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's okay. It's right by my feet. Bear with me. I'm just leaning down. There we go. I thought I was going to have to crawl under the table while you were all here. It's fine. I'll save that. So there's a light. Now, I have added little circles on the template, but if you've got a small circle die, that's absolutely ideal. Now, this is where I find, there you go. I thought I'd lost a light then. This would be good fun. Now, I did think this when I was preparing this demonstration. I thought this would be amazing, but I didn't have time to prepare it. Plus, I've got another demonstration for you as well anyway, to put lights actually in the lights. And this top bit is for the sign on the front of the bus. Now, this is included in the template as well, by the way. I have added in these pieces, which is the number plate and the signage for the bus. So you can print that off and add this in, but you can, of course, add your own if you prefer. Now, what I've done is I've printed that off. I've put a little bit of the Made to Surprise accent glaze over the top to give it a little bit of a shine. There you go, can you see that, the shine on it? So it looks like it's behind glass. I've then mounted them onto CraftStash foam tape. So it's the black foam tape. There we go. And that's just going to give them a little bit of a glossy look. Loads of memories coming through of Paddington. This is so lovely to see all those comments, and so many of you have fond memories of him. Pauline Burns at the movies she saw as an adult. Yeah, I don't know if I've actually seen the film because I think I wanted to keep that memory of him when he was younger, the stories and that all true. Because once you see a newer version, you almost sometimes forget the old version. Now, I have put on the number plate Bear 1958 because, of course, that's the year that the story first came out. Oh, we just lost a little bit of, I know what I'm going to do. That's a bit of my template that was on the black cardstock. I've forgotten to take the template off, so, of course, now it's come off. So I'm just going to add a little bit of wet glue to put this back on. Here, so I've got my ephemera there, which has got, let's get this the right way round, which has got Paddington driving the bus there. How cool is that? And you've got the backing paper in there. Now, if you want to do some more covering up of that, you can do, of course, but I like the acetate look. But I've also got here something else. Now, this comes from one of the stamp sets, which is just here, the suitcase. I've stamped that in black, and I've just like on craft cardstock, so I don't need to do any colouring or anything to that. I'm going to pop that in one of the top windows, almost like as if it's sitting on a seat in the top window. This would, of course, be an open top bus. You can make it however you want. So just going to glue that so that's sitting in there. Give that a moment to grab. Nova Blackburn says reading the stories to many children in the past, always popular. Were they your own children, or were you a teacher or a childminder? I'd love to know. Of course, I spent a lot of time as a child at Childminders, and yeah, that books like this were always about. So I think I'm going to stop there with that bust. That's really cool. Like I say, you can download that template on my own social media if you want to. So just search Lou Collins. I think Hilary was going to pop that in the blog post as well. So if you go over to the blog post, you can enter for your chance to win, another chance to win this whole collection as well. But you can also find the link to that template. But I mean, Paddington is just so much fun, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful.